Next we're doing Nusakana, which I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing correctly. This is not one of the ones I got in a humble bundle and I have no idea what it is. I do actually know a few things going in. I have this because I was interested in a different game by the same company. I actually backed it on Kickstarter. Seal Fledge. I don't know if I've talked about this before on the channel, but I'm really like a closet fan of the Princess Maker series. But Jesus Christ, it's such a like. Do you ever like really like a gameplay style, but then all the actual games in the main series are just really not what you want? Like Princess Maker, if you don't know, it's like a child raising simulator, but it's not like all the boring cliche girl game shit where you're just like, oh, I need to wipe a bum, I need to like exclusively dress you up like a little princess. And, like, ironically, for the game actually called Princess Maker, it's not about making you a princess. It's a very non-indicative name. It's just about playing as a dad, and it's basically like fantasy football, but for raising a child throughout their entire life. I just find it really interesting to like go through a character's entire life and like be able to shape, like make the choices of like what their interests are, what their hobbies are, what they do this, and then like see at the end, oh, you've got a unique ending, you've got a different career based on that. I just find that really interesting. It's like a personality test in an RPG. It's like, what do all my natural choices equal in this alternate world of the game? I guess I like it more because like I like to imagine like what if I was the character rather than like raising a character. I'm not so much a dadly person, I guess. But yeah, that's what I mean. The gameplay style is something I'm really interested in for entirely the different reasons than what's intended. And also for some stupid reason, the main actual Princess Maker series is really fan servicey. And it's just the dissonance of like playing as a dad and then having like softcore titty moments of your underage child is just so gross and ew. Thankfully, the later games in the series have toned it down massively, but yeah, when I was a kid, I was playing Princess Maker 2, and I was like, wow, this is a really unique gameplay style I can't get anywhere else, but Jesus Christ, I wish they would stop being really weird, outdated child titties. It's like an 80s game that I was playing in the 90s, and it's like, even then it was really outdated, and like, I was playing on bloody DOS emulator. Anyway, I'm getting too much of like nostalgia. Anyway, Seal Fledge is a fan game made inspired by that, but it's actually generally just you raise a child and there is no creepy porn about your child. It's great, it's wonderful. It's honestly not the best game in the entire world. It does have its own flaws, but just the fact it fills that niche of being a 100% wholesome Princess Maker game is really good. And also it's set in space and has really interesting world building. Humanity lives on these like floating arc like space stations floating above a planet. The actual Earth has been destroyed, and like only monsters and aliens live down there because like an alien super weapon exploded out from the center of the Earth, and there's all this big mystery about where that happened and what link it could be to your mysterious amnesiac child who appears, and like all this like the mysterious government and the conspiracies and the vat-grown super children, and it's fun and it's great and I really recommend it. I really love the lore. But the flaws of that game were sadly, it has a kind of a bad translation and a really confusing, hard to understand interface. It's like they changed up a lot of things. They made like a lot of like much more in-depth version of an already very in-depth, very stat-heavy simulation type game. And the fact that the translation is a bit confusing means it's hard to understand the explanations of what those new things do. So anyway, that's my review on an entirely unrelated game. Anyway, because I enjoyed the game, because I backed it on Kickstarter, I thought maybe I'll check out the other games by the same developer, and then I ended up buying this one just to support the developer, even though it's really not my kind of thing. So today I'm going to finally bite the bullet and play it and find out if I actually do enjoy it more than I expected based on the premise. Because the premise I know about this is it's like a farming sim, open worldy type thing, but it's for fishing instead. And I always dislike the fishing minigames in farming sims, so that was already putting me off. And then also the secondary thing is all the dating options are Gajinka fish, but it's the type of Gajinka design that I don't personally like. You know, when it's like, I'm a Gajinka Umbreon or something, but I'm just 100% human, I'm just like wearing an outfit in the same colours. That's the kind of a design style, and they don't actually have any monster traits. And for me, again, don't know if I've talked. I've definitely talked about liking monsters quite frequently on this channel, but my personal preference is like the more monster something is, the more I like it. And I'm not fond of like most games where it's like, oh, I date a monster, I befriend a monster. Like the one that you date or befriend is like the most human-looking one of the bunch. So I was inherently kind of let down, going, oh, a game where you befriend and or date a bunch of strange fish mermaid women, but none of them actually look like fish or even mermaids. They don't even have like a tail or anything. Oh. Also, just because I like monsters, but I'm not, like, into furries specifically. I have friends who are furries, I 100% support the furry community. It's just not personally my kind of design. I just don't like adding human traits to things. I was inherently less interested in the idea of, like, animal monsters as opposed to just monsters. For me, my ideal fish monster would like, literally be, like, just a fish. I like the Zoras from Zelda because they're humanoid, but they're also like a crazy and more monstrous way of doing it. Like their entire head is a fish tail, and I really, really like that idea. It's not just like any kind of exactly what you'd expect from a fish person. It's not just human on top, fish on bottom. It's like literally fish on top, human on bottom. It's quite funny. And, the designs in Ruby Gilman, Teenage Kraken, I really like those too. Where like instead of being a human with like fish parts, it's like, oh, I've drawn like more of an octopus, like squished itself into a shape of a human being. So like she has her hair is all octopus tentacles, and like everyone in her family animates like wildly different. Like we don't have any bones, and it's so cool. I really love the design of Grandmama in that movie. It's like legit one of my favorite movies of the year, and I felt so bad that it was like universally panned by critics. Like, oh, it's just a kind of a crap generic movie. Like, no, it had like a whole commentary on like generational trauma in like immigrant families and stuff, and everyone seems to have just missed this. And also the monster designs are really great. Anyway, I've blabbered on too much about off-topic things. I'll just throw up an image on screen of Grandmama, and you can all agree on how Grandmama is like the best design ever for any kind of like since Ursula from The Little Mermaid. We have never had a more Grandmama than this Grandmama. So yeah, that's all I know about Nusakana going in, and now we will actually play it and find out what it really is. Had another occurrence of the same weird full screen thing where it loads in full screen. The options say it's not selected to load in full screen, but you have to select it to say do load in full screen to actually not load in full screen. But it's been double bad on this one because it still loads in full screen, but now if you have selected to load in full screen, you can then click Alt and Enter and it will not load in full screen. But every time you reload the game, you have to click Alt and Enter to make it not reload in full screen again. And also this game doesn't have a tutorial telling you to press Alt and Enter. I don't know, it seems to be some kind of commonality happening with whichever specific engine of RPGmaker this is, whenever anyone actually does a full screen script in their game. Unfortunately, it's not easily available to find out which version of RPGmaker any given game is doing, so I can't confirm which it is. But it's some kind of compatibility error with Windows 11, and I don't know. Oh, it's got difficulty levels, that's cool. No salvation with power, what the fuck does that mean? I do think it's important with a difficulty level to like make it easy to understand, because like, why is easy the second one? And so the difficulties are normal again, the previous beta version. That's as interesting as like classic is like the previous version of normal, which was I guess determined to not be normal enough, so they've added a new normal, which adds like more information. What oddly specific things to add? What does a dangerous enemy indicator mean? I guess it means like telling you someone's above your level. What does sleep? Okay, so it's added quality of life features and also more difficulty, so like now you get sleep deprivation. And then it seems like easy mode is like just play it as an RPG without all the life sim elements, and whatever the fuck no salvation with power means. And then extreme is like really super. That is kind of odd how we just have normal, really easy, really hard, and no like more understandable hard difficulty. I think I'll go for normal because normal is saying that it's like classic but balanced better. It's weird the way they organised it. It's like normal, easy, normal again, really hard. Like you'd think it would be easy, normal but harder, extreme. Like yeah, it's like why isn't even the classic one the first normal in the list? It's so confusing. Also normal and classic as synonyms, I don't even. Oh, one random trivia I know. That symbol next to easy is like the universal symbol for beginner in Japanese, because it's a symbol used for beginners driving lessons. Anyway, let's try normal. I know that from trivia about a Kirby translation. Can't remember where I found that from, which Kirby game it was. Oh, we've got an animated intro. Oh, we've got a really big detailed sprite of a tram. I have a friend in my support group who really loves trams. He'd probably really love this game. But he's not too much of a game person himself. He just really likes trams. And I agree with him. I've never been on a tram because there aren't any in any places I live. Like, you have to go up to England to go on the trams. I hope I do someday. Oh, you got the tram animated at multiple angles. It's really hard. Like, that's a usual thing. Like, there is like one train tile set for RPGmaker that everyone tends to use because it's so difficult to make your own trains, and someone here's gone out and made a specific tram line. That's like really good. It kind of feels like it's not very shaded, but aside from that, that's like a really impressive graphical asset. And also it just seems the art style for this game might be very low on shading. Yeah, you can see it here, that's just how it is. Port Frida, Kingdom of Kilford, PO13. That's also a thing I remember from Sylph Ledge, is a lot of like long name of like list of lore things, times, dates, and then it goes too fast for you to finish before you read it. Okay. Oh, that's a good way. They have a tutorial immediately on the basic ass stuff of like the buttons, but like I do like for this game it lets you use every possible A and B button in RPGmaker instead of making me fucking guess for an hour before we start. It's got gamepad functionality. That's rare. That's cool. Oh, there's a skip dialogue button. That's really good. And there's a config. This game already has like more control compatibility and everything else combined. You have read guidebook congratulations! It is a bit of a shame when games just start immediately into totally out of universe like explanation of controls, but it's better than not explaining the controls until too late and then you have no idea what you're doing. Oh, that's our character. I was like, which one of us on the screen is it? That's kind of funny. Our character has literally no face. Visual novel syndrome, but in an RPG somehow. Welcome to Port Frida, Pier 14, the cruise ship free to Star Wars to depart for Nusakana. So Nusakana is the name of the setting. Okay. Everyone else has phases. We are. That's the first time I've seen RPGmaker sprites with like big booba actually drawn onto them. That's kind of funny. There's been so many like weird fan service games so far, but they all have been using like the default sprites for RPGmaker. So it's been like a character who has massive fat tits in their portrait art, and then like on their sprite is totally not, just a little rectangle. But it's actually kind of like funny and unique, when they actually bothered to like draw like realistic proportions on such a tiny sprite too. It's impressive, but also just not my kind of thing. The pier is still closed. I want to buy some snacks. Are you going to Nusakana too? This is our first ever family vacation. We can't wait to be there. The text is a little bit slow, but still not the worst we found. Hop, hop, hop. Oh boy, I can't wait to be on the island. It's going to be the best holiday ever. Ah, I can't calm down, honey. Nice pleasant music. Really big chunky shadows. Due to overcapacity at the main port, we're forced to make use of passenger ports to store containers. Sorry for the inconvenience. Blame the booming trade. See, I was talking about how NPCs, they're just really flat and they don't express any personality. And it's just like, this is what the lore is happening. That's the guy who's like telling you, like, the city is experiencing an economic rise, but in a really sassy and funny way. In real life, no. Oh, I see. It's going to be a journey for you. Beware of catching seasickness, though. I guess because my character's wearing a fishing thing, it would make no sense if he hadn't actually gone a boat before. Are you sure having this huge billboard is a good idea? I mean, did you ask the chief for permission first? Where do you get the money for this anyway? I like that. What if this is just a piece of concept art they just really want to put in? Don't worry, it's necessary for Nusakana tours. I wonder if we should have posted this billboard in the city rather than the middle of nowhere. I like when games are self-aware. Look at this huge billboard. Sure, it looks nice for the placement. I mean, it faces the sea instead of the pier. Who the heck will look at it? Sailors? Access to the port is limited. We don't have many ships around. See, I like that. I like making fun of tropes of a genre. It has to be facing this way so the player can see it, but it makes no fucking sense for the actual characters. So this is the ship we're supposed to be going on. Can we not? I'm trying to walk. Okay, we have to click. I thought we could just walk up it. Nusakana, an island located at the southernmost tip of the Avilian continent. Zooming slowly on a globe! It's very shaky. This globe is so nervous. Beautiful exotic island located far away from the civilization of the north. This is like the opposite of the opening cutscene. The text is going slow because the animation, the globe is so scattered. I wonder if this is an error and it's supposed to be going faster. However, recent scientific discoveries have flooded Nusakana from curious people from all over the world because we found Gajinka fish women. That's all I know about this. They're apparently Gajinka fish women, but just from looking at designs, I would not have guessed they were actually magic fish people. And that is a shame. I want my magic fish people to look more like magic fish people. Off the coast of Nusakana, 1st of May 1951. Oh, we're playing like in olden times here. I didn't get that impression at all. Random fighting child. Super fighting robot. Mega Man. Super jumping bimbos. I don't know. Somehow it's much more funny to see the default RPGmaker jumping sprite when it's fan service bikini lady. Sorry, I totally missed that cutscene. I was so distracted by jumping fan service bikini lady. And perhaps my super secret sprite. Oh yay! So the fighting child is going to be a party member, I hope, because she's got a unique sprite. Name's Riri Nanako Group, the most famous Silat fighter from the island of San Maui. Are there? I don't know. Is this a reference to something in real life? Is that the country that this game was made in? Because that would be really cool if that was trivia. I don't know that, so I'm not going to say that in case that's like me putting my foot in my mouth, but okay. If that is a fact about Sealand fighters in San Maui, then hooray at this game for that. I see. Haha, that's a luminary for you. What? Yeah, this is what I mean with the translation being a bit odd. It's like, it's not a case of like it being bad. It's like they pick weird synonyms for like English words. It feels like they went through a thesaurus. They didn't realise that this is an uncommonly used version for it. Like, I think she means that's a superstar for you, but somehow she's got mixed up like, because the Dragon Quest series uses luminary as a pun for like legendary person, then also superstar. Like in some games the hero is called the luminary, in some games the pop star job class is called the luminary, and it's a good funny joke. But it does make me think maybe this person who translated it was like raised on Dragon Quest games, their way of learning English, or maybe they just like made a false positive on Google Translate or something. Anyway, what's your name? I don't know. We even have no face on our portrait. If I remember correctly, that's no face. That's how to say no face in Japanese. From Spirited Away. I like No Face from Spirited Away. I will now headcanon we are actually No Face from Spirited Away, who is like scrungled into a little human disguise to go date more monster women. Attention all passengers of Frida Star. We have a very slow panning animation. We've arrived at Nusakana Island, but due to a danger of shallow water, a ship can't dock at the island harbour. You will be picked up and transported to the island by native boats. Thank you for listening and have a good day. Yeah, as I was saying before, it seems the art style is just like completely devoid of shading, aside from like, that's why it seems a bit strange. There's like such really big dark shadows around like environment elements, but then the actual characters have like no shading on the sprites, but then when you see their portraits, they actually do have shading. I don't know, it's a little bit inconsistent, but I do always appreciate when a game goes for a fully unique art style. And like I like it. It's got a similar appeal to Earthbound. I'm not personally a fan of that game myself because I just don't like the gameplay style, even though like the humor is really fun. But definitely for people who enjoyed it, they would probably get a blast of nostalgia for this. Look, the boats, there sure are a lot of them. I do think it's really interesting how Earthbound has that, like the HP ticking down, but I just found it really too difficult when I did try like the first few levels myself as a kid. Yay, we're in the boats with the weird sail shading. That is really noticeable. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's something, it's got such good reflection effects, and then the shading is just entirely, we are riding on Doritos, and the boat itself has like dissipated pixel shading, but then the sail doesn't, and I feel bad for nitpicking on that. It's a unique sprite, so I don't think this is a mistake, this is just a unique choice of a sprite style. Oh, that's really cool how like the environment there is like drawn instead of pixelized. Is that going to be like a stylistic effect to show like when we get like the natural environments are drawn as opposed to like the artificial environments are pixelated, or is it just simply a combination of two styles for no particular deeper reason? Also, I'm noticing the cutscenes are quite overly long with everything taking a long time to move. Normally I would expect to like at least put some dialogue over a really long boat ride. Are we going to have enough time to see much of this before the timer goes out? If every cutscene is like this, we might not get past the introductory cutscenes. I'll keep going until we get to see some actual gameplay. That'd be a good stopping point if we do have to go over 30 minutes. Should I just leave in the full length of this cutscene so you guys get the idea of how long it is? So just like put a timer and show how long it took. Whoa, so this is Nusakana. Pretty, like what everyone said. Yeah, yeah. See? This place is going to be perfect for my training. Psst, psst, psst. Who is she? Is she alive? What? What's the ruckus over? Oh, there's someone else. I thought she was talking about the bikini lady who walked towards us. Like, is she a zombie? But no, I guess someone off screen. And it just totally coincidence the NPC pathfinding look at this part of the cutscene. Oh no, we have to save someone from the sea! Zzz. I recognise you from being on the cover, you and your strange patterns in the hair. I think you are one of the magic fish people. Wait, she's an ocean sunfish. Her design does not in any way communicate ocean sunfish. She's dead, isn't she? Come on, do something. Damn it, I'll go check her now. What are those text boxes like auto going and I couldn't click through them? Really good reflection effect. You see a weird girl floating out of sea, appearing lifeless. What will you do? As funny as options to just like avoid the main plot. I'm assuming it'll be like if you do that, it's like game over early. Hey, what are you doing? I'm saving your life, asshole! Zzz. 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 Even the zzz is slow. Hey, you alright? Hang in there. What is happening? Yeah, it's loud. Sometimes it just like automatically does the text box. It doesn't let me actually click to progress them. I guess it's like we really wanted this to be like a slow reaction moment. Were you drowning out there? Hey, you're the one who dragged me here. It's rude to disturb someone's nap, you know. I'm glad that you're fine, alright? I don't forgive people. That was a weird spot to have the automatic thing going. Don't forgive people who disturb my naps. Come with me now. Zero animation drag. Okay, this game does have a little bit of an issue of like going between like really good looking assets and really bad looking assets in the same scene. Hidangan Lout, 99. Wonder what that means. I want you to get me some food. Got it, Nap Buster? Napping makes me hungry. We have a quest? Why are you still standing there? Get me something, and fast. I don't like you, you're mean. I guess it's supposed to be you're actually a mermaid and like we weren't saving your life, you're actually fine, but like because it hasn't been established that you're just being rude just for no reason. Like you could just say, okay, no, I'll buy it for you, will meat work for you? One meat, okay. Our currency is shush, and we don't have meat, so I guess we have to go and look for meat. It's an odd way of starting. Oh, hello, random fan service men too, hooray! He won't win. I'll have my money doubled tomorrow. Heh heh. He said he'll do the challenge when girls can watch it. Pretty picky. What the what? You shouldn't be able to win. Okay, that's confusing. I have no idea what these guys are doing. Yeah. Translation a little bit odd. What is it? I'm having my resting time here. Where would I find a meat? If I was a meat. Howdy, how about using the renowned fisherman transportation service of Nusakana to take to all landing spots around the island? Okay, now it's probably not good to jump into the open world. I've got like a clear quest I'm supposed to have. Okay. Oh, so these mean gathering spots. That's kind of weird. The game started with an explanation of like the basic controls and no explanation of like all these gameplay systems and just like throw you in. You have to go find meat for the lady now. Also, the timer has already started. The door is locked. Like we seem to like. It doesn't seem to be like one of those ones they freeze the timer until you've completed the tutorial. Cottage may be pricey, but it's worth it. You won't get any buffet more generous than this cottage has. Okay, where do you find a buffet? That's my quest. I need to find food for this lady. I found a peanut. I found 2 peanuts in the ocean. I don't understand. You shouldn't be able to win. What are you winning at? Is it like a race or something? Hope I get a nice time, because they're not even running. That's what I mean about the translation. They're definitely very much in common with Steel Fletcher. It's not like... It seems like they've poorly said something. It's more like you can't tell what they were trying to say. They've left out information. They assumed it was like more inferred. It makes me wonder if it's like the loss of like speaking patterns or like sentence endings which would like indicate other things in a sentence. I don't know. You know something on the request board. People on the island more frequently post requests on the board that anyone can take in exchange for a reward. That rhymed, yay! There are 4 boards dedicated to certain groups of people. The local for tourists, Kilferny and Sildarians. Okay, are those 2 different types of the magic fish people, or is it the magic fish people and some other kind of magic people? The more requests you complete for each group, the more they're going to like you. You might be given a special reward for your hard work. It's a bit strange to be tutorials when you haven't established who these different people are. Village request board at the inn lobby, Sildarian request board at the embassy, Kilferny request board at the village south end. Is the Kilferny the native people and then the embassy Sildarians are a different country? Or is it fantasy people? Tourist request board at the beach cottage. Activate the interface from checking directly from the request board. When you accept a request, it will be written to your quest submenu in the main menu. Your quest type is mainly gathering or hunting something. Representative group name and side representative of each group. You need to report at the start of the job or filling a job to click to. That's something that's gonna be really awkward if it doesn't tell you where the person is. It just shows an image of what their sprite looks like. Like at least that's good because like most games they don't tell you what the person looks like to find them. But honestly, knowing what area to look for them is usually more useful than knowing what they look like. That's also a really awkward way of writing the quest deadlines. The quest board reps are Adino, the village representative, the inn central village, Syria and Delta, the tourist representative, Hindang and Lout, the resort beach, Arinka, the Kilferny representative, Kilfern HQ, south village entrance, and Ungwe, Sildari representative, embassy, north village entrance. I think I remember Sildarian being a term used in Steel Fledge. Like, is it probably some kind of like cross reference? Yeah, it's an odd way of having tutorials to throw you straight in, like run around the world, find meat some. I guess maybe we are supposed to like use our money to buy her food, but it says you can give her 1 meat if you find 1 meat. And it would seem to be logical to avoid spending 1 meat. What was that? This game is like cryptic on purpose, I guess. Maybe it's one of those games where the difficulty comes from not knowing what the fuck to do. Like Digimon World 1. I did enjoy that game. I did enjoy just being able to be thrown into the open world and like do something whatever order I wanted and slowly figure it all out. But at least it had a bit of an intro that established things before it threw you in. You kind of make sense of mysterious voice. Why is this stick talking to us? Why is it glowing? I was gonna keep getting more ocean peanuts. Ocean mushroom. Ocean peanuts, there we go. Yeah, our time is definitely ticking down even though we don't know what we're doing or where we are doing or where we're going. Or who we are even. We're just the faceless man. The faceless man who puts his hand in the ocean and somehow summons peanuts. Coconuts I can understand. But at least so far the extent of my knowledge is we are on an island, there are several races on this island. This woman appears to be the fish one because she wasn't drowning, she was floating in the ocean. And it said she was an ocean sunfish, but nothing of her designs communicates an ocean sunfish at all to me, so I don't know. I guess maybe the fact that it's big ponytails is supposed to reference that they have big fins, but the design doesn't have much in common. Okay, whenever these sparkles happen, someone's going to talk to us in a weird language we can't... Maybe this is like a cipher code I could figure out, maybe. Like, I know the way to figure that out is that you find like a three-letter word which is repeated often, that's usually V, and then once you get that, now you know what TH and E are, and then you slowly figure it out from there. But I don't have time to do that in a 30-minute preview. I will try and do it in my own time. I tried my best to figure this out using the ciphering techniques I mentioned here. I completely failed. I only got like 4 letters correct. So I went into the game files and I checked the font that they're using for these special codes. Here's a translation of what those text boxes actually say. I think the reason I didn't get it is A, because it's in ye olde English, I didn't expect to see that. And B, because for some reason Q and U use the same character. It's like the only letter that's shared between 2 letters in them. Where would I find a meat? It's probably not going to be in the ocean. But then again, I wouldn't have expected peanuts. Oh, please wait 2 weeks for this roadblock to clear. That's kind of funny. I do like when it's being meta. Nothing here either. I keep forgetting the sprint button. I keep forgetting games don't put auto run on for default. I really appreciate when games do have auto run instead. Let's check our menu. Do we have it? Oh, I like this menu interface. That's really unique. There's an encyclopedia of the lore. I need that. Thank you. Oh God, I wish Seal Fledge had more of that. Yes, auto. Thank you. Just what I was saying. Just what I was saying. Hooray! Hooray! Thank you. Also, here's where the full screen option is. Bloody hell! But no, I know because. The background music is so quiet, but it's on maximum. What the hell? I don't know if that's showing up in like. I'll save here while we're at it. That's a nice interface. I love this interface. I love this interface. I love everything. The fonts are a little bit squished and tiny, and it's weird how it goes between like pixel fonts and anti-aliased fonts. Oh, you can talk to your party members. Oh, that's kind of funny. I guess when we get party members, we would have party chat like in Dragon Quest. That's really cool. Why are we so later on? A mysterious letter sent by someone made you decide to visit Nusakana. When you uncover what's written on it, that would be good information that could actually show in the beginning of the opening cutscene. Alvin 1, an extinct humanoid race that lived and dominated the world before human civilization. The Alvins are supposedly technologically more advanced based on evidence found in their ruins. Why is that unlocked from the beginning? We have had no conversation whatsoever which has given us that information. Alvin 2, some ancient scripture tales also told about human enslavement by the Alvins and Alvin worship in certain religions. They also master the use of mana to convert into a physical energy form called by most as magic. So it's not there are 2 species called Alvin 1 and Alvin 2, it's like Alvin lore part 1 and 2. That's not indicative. The First Continental War is like, oh, I think that's interesting. They made a bunch of flags for their fictional countries. That's really cool. A great continental war that engulfed the entire continent for the first time. Started with a simple border skirmish between Robustan and Zindabardi. It quickly escalated into a full-blown war between 2 unlikely alliances, Kilfin, Sildaria, Azerbaijan, Triple Alliance against Robustan Zindabardi Alliance. The Triple Alliance ultimately won the war, although with great losses on both sides. The currently of Zindabardi is no more. Oh, that's actually the one that had the coolest name. Annexed by Sildaria, while Robusta became a converting vassal state. You can see why games which are very, very, very heavy on lore, I guess, can be a bit hard to pass when there's like very small, like casual scattered translation errors. Like there were quite a few like missing A's and V's in there. I was trying to add them back in, but it kind of made it hard to comprehend at points. I hope I managed to make that a bit clearer. A humanoid race much like the Alvin in terms of physique and appearance. In the past, they used to be slaves to the Alvin. After the catastrophe and the Alvin extinction, humans slowly takes over what is left from their master and rebuilt from their masters and rebuilt civilization from the ashes, proving their worth as the new dominant race until today. Again, things that would be used to establish by honest citizens. Matter is an invisible natural energy that flows around the world. In the ancient times, Elven, and also in more recent times, half-blood people. That grammar is quite confusing. The run-on sentences really don't. Yeah, I am a victim of using too many run-on sentences in my real life. So I can't judge. Half-blood people used to draw physical energy from this so-called mana pool and use it as a fearsome weapon. Yeah, listen to a lot of lore unlocks it. Okay, why is it like 25 where you're going to get actual relevant stuff to the start of the story? Okay, that's the reason Nusakana is getting a bunch of scientists and new tourists coming over, is it has abundant mana resources and the ruins of these elven people. And also it has a native indigenous village. Okay, cool. And Kilfern is like a bigger dominant country that like won that war and it's like, I guess, connected to Nusakana. Maybe that's like, it's like the two countries that are from different sides of the war, they're both trying to appeal like to Nusakana to take them over or something. That'd be sad. Oh, San Maui is not a real world place. Okay. I feel dumb now. It sounded like a real world place. That's like the most realistic name so far. The martial arts sea lattes, I thought that was a real martial art too. It sounded real. I wish just how little I know about martial arts. The martial arts sea lattes originated from here. Every year a handful of San Mauian boys will undergo a journey as a warrior and ritual called Merin Tau before they officially recognise a man by the clan head. So I guess they are actually only men can be warriors in there. So that makes it extra weird that the start of the introduction of this character is going, hey, but only men can be warriors in your country, right? About a fictional country that the player has no way of knowing, and I guess our character knows, but it does seem weird to have it be a dialogue choice rather than just something the character says, because if it's a dialogue choice, like, no player is going to pick that because we don't know. We don't know that's a fact in universe. Sildaria is the one that lost, Kilvern is the one that won, and there are two factions, I guess. Your trusty old fishing rod. It should still be able to do its final service. Don't be heartless to use it as a sword. That's funny. I really remember liking that a lot in Seal-Fledged too, having like funny item descriptions. Like in the case where the translation was understandable, it was always very charming. And the journal, quest journal. See, again, the quest journal tells us what the basic premise of the plot is, which I think should have been in the intro cutscene. I received a mysterious letter from an unknown sender prompted. Well, our character actually gets a voice only in quests. So that's such a strange way of doing it. But a mysterious letter from an unknown sender prompted to tell me about my past. Ooh, what's your mysterious past? Catches, I need to meet with that person in Nusakana Island, a resort island to the south of the continent. I did want to know about my past. Okay, how do you scroll? Oh, scroll up with Q. That's really unintuitive. Thank you so much for having a tutorial bar. I did want to know about my past, being raised in an orphan. It's only natural for me to at least know who my parents are, right? Still, the original sender of the letter is still questionable. What if it's just a cruel prank? Besides, I do need some vacation from the hectic city life sometimes. I guess I'm really going to this island whether or not I will find this person later in the island. That was confusing. Fishing sounds a rather good vacation activity, so I picked up Grandpa's fishing kit. Yay, Grandpa! I can do whatever I want on the island, I must never forget my original goal, which was not established at all in the cutscene. So most players wouldn't even know it existed unless they happened to check the quest log. Find this mysterious sender and make him or her spit out all he or she know about me. That's also a recurring problem from Seal-Fledged. Seal-Fledged tried to have non-binary representation, but the translation fucked it up so bad, and it was like, seemingly the translator did not know that they them exists, and it was very confusing. You could even pick like a non-binary option for your main character, and then it was handled really awkwardly. It was like, I will just use he by default because what other choice do I have? And it's like, I do think, I appreciate that they wanted to have LGBT representation, but I do feel like it would be important to like get like an English LGBT consultant to like confirm what the different language like usage is in the language rather than just assuming like, because yeah, this isn't stuff that's commonly taught in like translation lesson school and stuff like that. Him or her spit out all he or she know about me. I must remember myself though, I must remember myself though that my visa for staying in Nusakana is only for 1 full year. But it should be more than enough for my quest, right? As soon as I arrive, I have to go to the inn to gather information, of course have some rest. Why didn't they even tell us go to the inn as soon as we got there? As a compensation of her broken nap, timer is up and we haven't started anything. Semi-frequent problem with these is just chucking you in with no context to what you're supposed to do first, so I end up wasting all my time not even getting to actually show the game within half an hour, so I have to go over half an hour. Oh wow. Okay. Again, the description of the actual quest is like, it's saying, yes, you can take it to the restaurant right next to, or bring her a chunk of meat. So I have been going around looking for a chunk of meat for no point, and I should have just gone and treated her. I was thinking, like, starting the game with, like, using up all of the money you have is not generally a wise idea. So maybe the idea of, like, optionally giving her meat instead is, like, once you actually know what you're doing, you can do that and you can, like, avoid this and you can start the game with money earlier. Okay. You sure you're treating me? Yes, because I want to get to the story. You better not be sorry. Is that the sound of eating? Ah. Also, what number for question? What number the text box being question mark, ... another question mark. Ah, that was satisfying. More than enough to compensate my broken nap. Yeah, they keep using that phrasing. That's what I mean, it's just unexpected synonyms, and it gets a little bit difficult to figure out what they actually meant. You feel the demise of being broke, especially by a gluttonous damsel. Yeah, really fancy synonyms, and sometimes it comes off as just being like really funny and cool, and other times it's just like, what is going on? By the way, what's your name, Natbuster? Is that going to be like our name for the rest of the game now, in the game now? Kawanashi? Nice to meet you then. My name is Mola Mola, you can call me Mola. Yeah, Mola Mola is the scientific name for ocean sunfish, so I guess that's what you are. Literally nothing about your design communicates ocean sunfish to me whatsoever. Like, even looking through them, I thought maybe the ponytails were meant to be like the fins for an ocean sunfish. No, when you look at it from behind, she's got 3 of them, so it's not even that. And then the rest is just a lady who wears a sexy costume, I guess. I don't know. I suppose the colour scheme is vaguely Mola Mola-ish, in like it's kind of sandy but also blue. To me, if I was making a Jinka ocean sunfish, I'd make like a tall or wide person, or like someone who has big, tall and wide hair. It's just a brief idea I scribbled up in like 20 minutes. I tried to think about how to incorporate actual traits of the Mola Mola into a mermaid design. The colour scheme is based on a combination of what Mola Molas actually look like if you take them out of the water, a bony sort of whitish colour, versus how most people would see them, which is the cool iridescent view of the blue, enhancing their colours and everything. And I just threw in some yellow because I thought it was a good complementary colour. Pretty obviously my first priority was just to make this a chubby woman, because how can you look at the Mola Mola and not see that? It's literally its defining trait as being the chubbiest of all fish. Like, aside from a whale, this is the biggest thing in the ocean. So I made her body shape just literally the shape of a Mola Mola. I tried to keep a sort of silhouette of the 2 big bony fins on the top and bottom. Interesting fact about Mola Molas is those fins on the top and bottom are almost completely immobile and they're mostly made of bone. That's why they have those very tiny fins. You can see it's like kind of a little circle on the side. Those are very tiny fins, and those are the ones they actually use to like scoot along. And that's why Mola Molas mostly, they're called the ocean sunfish because they sun themselves and they sort of float along like a literal sail. And it's really adorable to see them when they go up to the surface. They sun one side of their body and they're just like completely flat and floating literally like a boat. Like they're a boat and a sail in one. They're cute and they're dopey and they're adorable. So that's the kind of personality I wanted to go for this character. To give the game credit, they did try to keep the idea of like them being dopey and sleepy. But what we saw of Mola Mola in the game, she was more of a meanie than a nice silly goofball. I was also thinking about like what would be a really good like tutorial first character, like a nice comic relief, like friend to all everyone, lovely, cuddly, wonderful person who would like meet you and instantly want to be friends and instantly want to join your party and give you actual helpful tutorials. So then I tried to work in various aspects from the different fins and everything. The tail fin, as you can see, the slightly bony thing on the back of a Mola Mola, because that doesn't necessarily look very much like a tail. I didn't think it would work very well for being the tail on a mermaid, so I worked that instead into a hair decoration. And that's what made me start thinking, oh, let's have a bunch of different floofy, fancy, lovely little outfits for her, and loads of yellow accents. Right inside her personality, she likes to make jewellery and bracelets for her friends, and then you can recruit her by helping her find seashells. And then we have the hair and the skirt, both to invoke the image of ocean waves. We have like the little elf ear things, or like the small fins on the Mola Mola, the very tiny fins that they very weakly flap to slightly get around. The little black dots in the corner of her mouth are to reference like how beady and adorable the eyes actually are in a Mola Mola. But I didn't finish drawing this because I was not good at drawing that kind of shadowed eyes angle. But she has like big, beautiful eyes underneath her hair. Oh, and also she has scars, because that's also a real thing about Mola Molas. You can kind of see on this picture here, this one's got little tiny brief dots around the back here. Is that Mola Molas quite frequently have a lot of scars or little chips missing from their fins, because just the fact that they can't turn very well, they do have to like mostly rely on the ocean currents and mostly just drift. They often bump into boats if humans happen to be sailing in the same area, or they get attacked by sharks and stuff like that who would bite bits out of them, and they're just not very well equipped to resist. So it also did make me lean towards this character is very friendly and lovely and peaceful and pacifistic, despite being like so big and buff. I thought it'd be a cool contrast. You have somebody superficially, if you took off all of these adorable accessories, she would look quite intimidating. Like she's a very big, large person with lots of scars and like big, chumby arms, but no, she uses them entirely to hug, and she's 100% just loves and supports her friends. So I think she might be like a supportive class, but not like a maid. She might be like a defensive class who's like, her first ability is to protect you from damage. And that might work well with how the game actually works out. You start off really, really weak and like really in need of someone to defend you, so I thought she fit well with the gameplay. Anyway, that is my OC. I'm now inserting her into the game of my mind. As I said before, I don't forgive anyone who disturbs my nap. No, you said you don't forgive anyone who broke your nap. My ability to talk is dissipating as we speak, but I don't mind any company while at it. What does that mean? Are you inviting me to take a nap with you? Is it I don't mind your company now after you've done it and now I see you're a good guy? While at it. See you later. Was it supposed to be I don't forgive you forgive you for disturbing my nap, but oh actually I'm a little tsundere, you can come and join me in a nap next time. Wow, it's rare for someone to treat Mola considering her somewhat brutal appetite. Stop teasing our customer, Seria. Now if you please bring this order. Yes, sis, thanks for coming by, sir. I like their designs. So far I've been liking the actual humans more than the fish ladies. Wow, Kawanashi, we've only seen one fish. Maybe there'll be better fish ladies going on. Wow, Kawanashi, you treated that restaurant confidently a wallet, huh? I guess maybe the scene would be different if we did actually find the meat wherever it is, but I don't want to run around the entire town looking for the meat to like skip a side quest. Even though I really do want I want to skip a side quest and get to the main story, but then like it would defeat the purpose if it took longer to do the skipping. Want this? Receive the pack of chocolate cookies. Yay! So we do have a benefit from doing this way at least. By pity. Chocolate cookies by pity. Odd way of phrasing it, but very funny. Don't sweat it. You need some tummy fillers while we're feeling your want, alright? That's adorable. See, sometimes the strange synonyms, they give a character a sense of personality. Anyway, it looks like something's about to set. Do you already have a place to stay? But with your current state, I really doubt you can afford a beach cottage. Also, I've noticed, why is the text box, it only takes up half of the screen? Like, it's not even centered. Why is it only half? I do wonder if that's also a translation issue. I heard there's an inn in the native village across the forest. I think you can stay there too. Maybe beach cottages are the place. Beach cottages are the place I am? I'm in a beach cottage. It's very pricey, but it's safe enough to stay there. At least for a while. Are you any chance a tourist, Kawanashi, or is there anything particular that you plan to do while here? I know because I looked at my quest logs. See, do you realize how confused you'd be if you just went into this and you don't even know, and you just like choose the choice for this not the one that is actually to your character? Anyway, like, I suppose would it be like, oh you're lying, or like, would it be like, no your quest has now changed? I don't even know. Anyway, I think I'll need this. A bit of reading won't hurt, right? You need to maintain your hunger level to keep your stats from being penalised. Okay, so it's like a survival-y type game. There are 5 hunger levels, 2 full, normal. That's interesting to note that you penalised for being too full. I haven't seen that too often in other survival games. Keeping it full, so we've got to aim for the middle, but not go too high or too low. To replenish your hunger, you can eat a variety of foods bought from restaurant shops or made from crafting. You can also eat edible ingredients to satisfy your hunger, but be warned that some of them might be poisonous. Also, don't eat too much or you'll become too full. Almost every food have a unique stat bonus when you eat them, so be sure to eat variety of them. Food pick 'em tasty. An officer said Nusakana is sprawling with many kinds of animals. It's a guide to deal with them. Take a look at it if you will. Beasts and wild creatures of the island. Being an island full of exotic animals, docile and wild alike, you'll find many of them roaming the island based on their preferred habitat. So it's gonna be cool ones instead of regular animals. Yay! Yay, I wanna hug that weird demon turtle. And that picture plant that's apparently walking. When you touch on her, more than likely to attack you for any reason possible. No! Engaging your party into combat. No! Oh, that's a really cool and unique combat interface. Oh, what's that remind me of? It's like a breath of fire. The ones you fight in combat when in contact with the one like it also reminds me of Vampire's Dawn, that RPGmaker 2K3 game. Tangent, while looking for this image, I found out they made sequels to this which finally got an English translation, but they made Asgard white for some reason. Obviously an increase in drawing quality, but this is like the biggest downgrade in design I've ever seen. While I'm redesigning Mola Mola, I also redesigned Asgard. I am getting very sidetracked. Each creatures have their own preference of approaching you. Some will just ignore you, while others might be more inclined to jump at you when they sense potential conflict. Observe your surroundings carefully when you are about to enter battle. That's a recurring issue. Big spaces after commas for some reason. Apostrophes. So it's going to be roaming monsters on the map, and then it goes into actual turn-based combat. I'm good at that. I can do that. Really reminding me of Digimon World now. You can flank the beast by engaging from behind, giving you an extra turn to attack and having a preemptive strike. Keep in mind that the beast can also do that to you too, making you lose your first turn by a surprise attack. Beasts will appear depending on the environment and situation, including but not limited to weather, time, and location. It's best to know about the habit of the beast you may encounter and be prepared. This game is... It's so weird how it's giving me really good tutorials when you actually get to them, but it's not tutorializing things that I thought we should have actually tutorialized early on. Are we gonna get like we finally defeat all these monsters and then we're told like, oh by the way, we just had to pick up items and fish. And like, we already had to do that. See you later, I need to rest up since I'll be waking up early. To start my quest to become a Sea Lad Master. Okay, so our goal is to find... Is there a button to bring up the map again? Yeah! Okay, our goal is to find our way to the village, because that's where we're going to go, because we don't have money to go to the resorts. Wonder if like it would play out differently if we did save our money. Strange men who were doing some kind of ambiguous contest. Okay, so this is the village, and there's like... So this is not the village. How do I go from here? Okay, from that it looks like there's a line going from the resort beach to the village, but there's not. There is no way I can get out here, so I have to go around somewhere different. I pengen see great deer, but people say they extinct or so. Was that intentionally meant to be confusing? It's like a clue to something. Maybe it's like a unique dialect of like the people in the village or something. No, I can't go anywhere because I haven't found it yet. Okay, I'll have to like find... How do I get to the village? Because the sign said it looked like it was going this way. The grass path Galera Ramputin? I do like the dim lighting it. Chicken attacks! Chicken attacks! Chicken attacks! Very floofly chicken. Oh, really animated. Like, wow. This is like fully like 2D animated. It's not even sprites. That's really interesting. Dynamic backgrounds. This is really visually impressive. Wow. In the wilderness, you may be attacked by aggressive threats like this fowl. The party has their own HP. You'll emerge victorious when your adversaries are knocked out. But if you, Kawanashi, are knocked out, the party will be wiped out also. Oh no, I hate when games do it. It's such an artificial way of adding difficulty. Like, you have literally no way of controlling. Like if it was in a game where you had ways of controlling who the enemy could attack, like if it was like, oh, you have like taunting or protecting or something, but no, it's often in games where you have no way of making the enemy not attack you, so they can just like arbitrarily end your game instantly, and it's, oh. The consequences for losing, and if you do, you return to the village. I want to return to the village, that's what I'm trying to find right now. Should I just like die to this chicken? From now, just attack the fowl and save yourself. That is a unique and interesting animation. No, that's called critical hits have a cut-in. I gotta say, I don't like the music. I like that interface and the cool side plots. I don't like the music very much for the fight. It was very discordant notes. Egg found, foul meat pot. As I was saying, it's a unique animation of him fighting on a fishing pole. That's cool. Received a meat, but it's raw. Okay, so if we'd gone here earlier, then we could have done that quest. You'll lament why you didn't just give him meat instead of treating Mola Mola. Because I didn't know, because the game gave me no guidance. Don't go blaming me like that, game. Your own fault. I found a peanut. Does everything give me peanuts? Okay, I need to eat. How do I eat? Yeah, there isn't any interface showing me how much I need to eat. Like, it showed before that there was like an interface. Like, do we have to go into... Oh, I have to go into my status menu to find out how much hunger I have. That's really fucking annoying. Like, you get that little weird status, like whatever the fuck that is, like some kind of pot with bubbles in it to show that you're low on health. Chocolate cookies of San Maui. A royalty food considering its scarce ingredients and legendary technique to make one. I'll save that for later then. That'll poison us. We'll just eat some of our infinite amount of peanuts. So what's that say? Village? Which way? Left. I want to find a cool lizard. Oh, that's interesting how you've two... This is really reminding me of Digimon World. I wonder if this was actually inspired by Digimon World. Digimon World also had like a very extensive, fleshed out fishing minigame. I was very, very shit at it. But Digimon World had that unique thing where if you bump into an enemy, if there's other enemies within a certain range, they can run over and join the fight. And that is a very specific thing I've only seen in Digimon World and no other game. I love this monotone lizard. I love this random realistic monotone lizard next to like the floofy fantasy tail chicken. I wonder if that is like a real type of chicken that actually has tails on it. Yeah, I really I outright hate this battle song. It's just really discordant and strange. It reminds me of, ironically, Dr. Snap's battle theme in DQMJ. I love that character. I hate his song so much. It's just like 5 different songs all at once. It's like you couldn't decide on one melody at all. Wow, it's more to live, it's hard as fuck. I'm dying. Hooray! I'm not dying now. Peanuts. I cannot eat a peanut in battle for some reason. I can't eat a seaweed. Well, I'm getting my arse kicked. We really need to find better food later because stuff that recovers 5 HP is not good in battle. Like, it was dealing more than 5 HP in one turn. Yay, we leveled up, that's a relief. Oh, of course we have like temporary invincibility after battle, that's good. I found a tomato, I found a peanut. Oh, it says people don't like raw lemons. I love raw lemons. Every time anything in a restaurant like gives you a lemon slice in a drink, I always have to get it and bite it and eat it. I love it. I love raw lemons. They are sour, like you can't like eat them fast, but like that's why I like it. I like sour tastes. Limes, I like limes even better. If I had to pick, I would pick limes over lemons. They are just like, they're sour, but sour in a slightly different, more sweetish way, but like less sweet. It's a different sweet. I'm a connoisseur of picking up the fruit slice in my drink and shoving it in my face and ignoring the actual drink. This is a random fact about me that has no relevance whatsoever to RPGmaker games, but I thought it would be funny. Now you are cursed of this knowledge. We have found a random fanservice lady in a really slow cutscene. Oh, Halo! Is that a mistake or is that intentional? I didn't see you there. Welcome to Nusakana. Huh, sire? Handicap Bayan. You know herbs and fruits are abundant. Cow can't miss. Okay, is this actually a unique dialect for people in this village? That'd be interesting. I wonder if that is based on like a real dialect in real life. Because like if this game was like casually teaching you like how to speak like I don't know like Malaysian, I'm randomly guessing. Like that would be really interesting. But if it was, I wish the game would tell us like which one this is based on, so I would know for real life. If it is like a totally made up fictional language, that's also really cool in its own way. But it would be really cool to have like I was thinking about this in like the other game, like that learn Japanese game, about how it would have been so much more immersive if it was like just being thrown in and having actual gameplay, and like if this is a game about teaching you some other language and that way it's like a stealth better sequel to the Learn Japanese game, then hell yeah, I want to learn whichever language this is. Don't hesitate to Macan then. So is Macan like take or pick? They're mostly edible, covering raw ingredients in the wild. Okay, yeah, we've been doing this for like multiple screens already, so yeah, the tutorials are really out of order. Well, Sire have to go. Is that I or me? See you, mister. Or is Sire just your name? Is it like speak your name in third person? I'm not sure. I'm excited to figure out this language. Yay, language! I'm glad of language. I'm more excited to learn their language than to deal with our language not being correctly translated. I found the way back to the beach. Oh, so that explains why it said the village was up from the beach. Because it is, as in you can access the top of the beach from the village, but you can't access the village from the top of the beach. That's really unintuitive. That's not a good way of doing a map. Jalo Ramputan. Is it like that's what Grass Path is in this other language? I want to find out. Someone tell me some of what language this is. I want to know. I want to know if this is real. I like it. But I mean, I was mistaking like fake countries for being real earlier on, so maybe it isn't. I found a Garlic. My friend Garlic from Twitter. Maybe that's why Malaysia was on my mind, because my friend Garlic from Twitter is from Malaysia. Oh, I didn't even notice that your name gets abbreviated in battles if you make... That's an odd choice to make the actual character limit for character names longer than it can be displayed in certain windows. Oh, that was weird how it did load it. So Pedersan. Is Pedersan the name of the village, or is Pedersan village in that language? Okay, I think that's all for the list. I'm counting on you guys. This is like such a much more immersive way of doing it. It's like you just... Every town name has a translation of it in the other language. It's like a really good way of just teaching you as you play, rather than just sit here and memorize 5 things and we take no advantage of the fact of a video game whatsoever. Yes, Mrs. We mean Miss Arinka. Count on us. We'll be back in no time. Alright then, be safe guys. Really slow cutscenes. Hello, welcome to the Kilfern Research Center. My name is Arinka. I'm the leader of the scientists from Kilfern that are here. Are you a mad scientist? Are you a sane scientist? Are a delegation of scientists from the Kingdom of Kilfern under the Cross, Kilfern Royal Science Society. We're here to study Nusakana's natural reserves and help develop technology for the natives. I hope you're not a bad colonizing type people and you are genuinely trying to help. We are using this area as our encampment and center for activity. I'm sorry if this is bothering your visit to the village in any way. You also accept volunteers who are interested in our cause and want to help. I don't know what your cause is, so please explain. I am automatically untrustworthy of situations where it's like, hi, I am from rich country, I am coming here to like settle in native country. I really hope this is like genuine, just like charity work, and it's not a situation of like we want to take over and steal their land, because fuck hell. In real life, quite obviously in history, specifically my country I'm in, Britain, has done that shit to the world so much, and that's why I'm biased and not trusting the idea. I hope you are not from fantasy Britain. Is that going to be the faction system? You either help them or you help the natives, or you help the other? Is it like two factions? Where? I want to help the natives. Let's look at the message board and see if any jobs. I'm more interested in the native. I want to learn the cool native language. I want to meet all the nice natives. I want to find out from them firsthand whether you guys are trustworthy or not before I trust you. Anyway, another introduction to the quest system we already found earlier. It's been a pleasure to meet you, mister. Oh yes, Mr. Kawanashi. See you later then. Oh, you wondered about some unfamiliar words for native. Yay! So please tell me, is it like, this is Singaporean, this is Malaysian, this is real world language, or this is cool fantasy language? I want to know. If it is a real world language, I want to go research it now. It's called Nusakana. Oh, it is a fantasy language. Hooray! I still think it would have been really cool if this was like a cool like fantasy JRPG way to teach you a real world language. But I'm still interested in learning this totally fantasy language. It's still learning our language. We need time to learn our words. Some of them are adept enough, thankfully. I do admit, Nusakana words are pretty difficult to interpret within our writing system. Like, Baoli means bye. Oh, so they use a different writing system, so I guess similar to like Japanese or Chinese? I want to see the difference. That's what those weird signs were. They must have been like, that's their native language. That's how they actually write. That's interesting to have the game have like two like ciphers you have to uncover, is like their language written in your language and their language written in their own actual language characters. That's really cool. Don't worry, we still understand what we say, of course. Enjoy your trip. I don't want to put all the pressure on them to have to learn our language. I want to learn their language. See, I don't know if I want to do your quest because I don't trust you yet. The fact that wearing cliche safari hats makes me like slightly inclined not to trust them, because like any kind of imagery that is anyway associated with like what I think of like British explorers, I'm like, oh, don't be fantasy Britain, don't be fantasy Britain, please, in every possible way, don't be fantasy Britain. Hey, have you heard that heart fruit taboo? But the fact that they're blonde haired makes me go, it could go either way, because there is like a stereotype in games made by people from Asia. It's like the way to indicate like every Caucasian is to make them blonde haired, even though it's not actually common in like Britain as opposed to America. As far as I know, in America they do have a higher rate of blonde hair than anyone else, but it's more brown hair in Britain as far as I can tell. I've had like plenty of blonde friends in my life, but it's definitely not the dominant hair colour. Hey, have you heard of heart fruit taboo in this village? Oh, phooey, that fruit's delicious. Is it like heart fruits are like important to their culture? It's like in somehow the fact that a heart is there something you give to your lover or something? Oh, I thought they'll sell it freely. I want to know the lore. I want to get immersed in the culture. I want to learn all about the culture. I want to help them out. I want to know whether I can trust you to help them out too, or whether you're secretly an evil. Are you Britain in the skies? Let's take off your mask and then like the Queen. I'm still busy and preoccupied with all this paperwork and submissions from my fellow scientists. See, I want to trust you because you're a scientist. I like mad scientists, but you don't seem mad. You seem ambiguously. Are you really nice or are you being fake nice? But I like your design, I like your little turtleneck, I like your pleasing colour scheme. The Eye of a Storm, anonymous author. It seems to be a book about a certain phenomenon that occurs in Nusakana Island. Since the author doesn't know, it's hard to conclude whether it's a fact or just myth combined with fiction writing. That's interesting, so it's like, this could possibly be some kind of like new and unique weather that'll hit us later, or it could just be a lie. I like the idea of the game just, like, here's a tutorial, it might be fake. Would you like to borrow this book? Okie dokie. You got the book, The Eye of the Storm! Fact, myth, fiction, or an actual real factual writing. Maybe I should check the highest peak of the storms for sake of previous book content. This book correct? Or is it too much to risk for? I mean storms! Little hard to understand sometimes. I really wish there was an indicator on screen telling me when my hunger is at all times instead of having to open the menu. The windmill is amazing! That's fun! So is it just a total coincidence that your word for amazing sounds similar to ours? Or is that a sign that like you're trying to learn our language but you haven't quite got it correct? Because I appreciate that. I want to learn your language so you don't have to struggle with it so much. Thank you, Kisi Kilford. Thanks to Kilford, we now have electricity. It's either thanks or because of is thank you. I should be writing this down. If I play this like in my own free time, I'll definitely be playing this. I'll be writing down like my own dictionary of terms. It's like a really interesting idea. Like the game has immediately got me hooked with just the idea of like decoding this language and learning it. Especially because it's framed as like, oh, the natives, like they are learning our language, we're not learning this. Like I want to learn their language. I want to be their friend. I want to show they don't have to like work like 5 times as hard as everybody else to integrate. Awfulness. People barely get sick if we barely get any profit here. Oh, how terrible! They have, like, good medicine. You're an arsehole. Must we raise fares? Arinka will hang me. Okay, so Arinka is actually good. She is against this guy being corrupt and being like, let's charge the natives more because we want to encourage them to use our medicine instead of their own native medicine, which is good. Like, that's bad. No, you're an arsehole. The very idea of a doctor who's complaining people don't get sick enough is just commentary on the healthcare system, really. Diarrhea, dysentery, flu, they all have it. Except they barely do. For a rural village, we do keep things clean, huh? I like that. This does give me an idea that maybe whichever country this game comes from is one that's faced, like, stereotypes like this from tourists coming in. It does feel like the game is on the side of the actual natives, and, like, tourists can have, like, really shitty prejudices about them, like, oh, they must have loads of dysentery here, oh, because they live in huts, oh. But no, it's like, it's not like native medicine is somehow not medicine anymore. Like, come on, man. There are loads of cultures which had, like, medicine way more advanced than our own, like, way earlier. Like, have you seen how shit the medicine was in Britain in the Victorian and the Middle Ages? Welcome, need medicines? An empty glass bottle. Oh, that's cool, so you can go around and collect other stuff. Shock-up potion. That's kind of funny. Doctors despise the dangers of feeding someone unconscious, but slowly began to accept this as medicine. And it wakes you up from unconsciousness because it's just so awful tasting. That's like a really funny bit of world building. Mangus pill. Mangosteen peel extract. Okay. What? I've never tried a mangosteen. I want to try a mangosteen. What if it tastes like a mango, which is a total coincidence they have similar names? We've been lacking coffees. We've been lacking coffees lately. Odd phrasing. I hope I'm not coming off as mean about, like, picking on the game by having odd phrasing. I'm just like, I'm pointing out, like, I'm not saying it's like it's bad to speak this way in real life. It's just like when you're in a game, it generally when you're translating a game for a new audience, it's generally good to, like, have a good translation. And, like, someone in real life who is struggling with English as a second language, I will be like, my perspective I'm having here is like, I would rather learn to help you feel more comfortable than judge you for, like, minor misunderstandings like that. It's just in the context of a game where, like, I need to understand the language to know what's going on. But I do really respect that this game is made by, like, a small indie team. They may not have had the budget to, like, hire, like, an extensive translation team or anything. If this was made in-house, then I'm really impressed with what you've done as this is a second language. And I would have been happy, like, I wish I'd got involved for this at the Kickstarter stage, because I would have been happy to, like submit, like editing reports and stuff to help out. I never managed to do it when I was actually Kickstarter backing Steel-Fledged, because I was too shy to actually, like, talk to anyone in the Kickstarter forums. And, like, I backed it out of tier where you were allowed to, like, design an outfit to be in the game, and I never actually submitted my design because I got too shy, and I really regret that. I spent, like, a bunch of, I'm glad I spent the money. I do not regret it anyway, spending the money on backing that game, because it was great and I'm really happy that I supported it. But I feel really bad and guilty that I left them hanging and I never actually gave them my outfit design for the game. I hope in future, if I ever choose to Kickstarter back something again, I will only do it when I'm like, I won't just rush in like with excitement. I will do it when I know that I'm prepared to actually like be responsible and like to play the betas, to actually contribute my opinions, to actually like do what I agreed to do in the backing contract, how so to speak, whatever you call it. But yeah. So where are we supposed to go? Said in our village was where we're supposed to sleep somewhere. So we've gone past the village. So where were we supposed to sleep in the village? Yeah, it said the inn was in the village. There's nowhere else to go in the village. Where is the inn in the village? This game is really not clearly explaining stuff. Oh, here's the inn. I thought this was like, because I saw there was enemies, I thought this was like another wild area. Okay, we found the inn. We've just got over an hour. We found the inn. We've made enough progress. Okay. Oh, we have another cutscene. Is there going to be some plot? Oh, we've just got bonked in the face by a child. We keep getting bonked in the face by many children. Sorry about that, mister. Later. Grandpa! I relate to you. Are you alright? I apologize about that. My name is... was that your grandpa? I look like a child. My name is Adinda, and I am currently in charge of the village centre, which coincidentally only also serves as an inn. Oh yes, that kid who crashed into you is my grandpa, and the current chief is... According to that Sildarian ambassador, he could be considered the head of state for Nusakana. Grandpa? Is this going to be the two fantasy races of like fish people and immortal people? Yes, he actually turned 71 this year. It might look and sound strange, but that's just the way it is. I wanted to see an actual grandpa. The inn is a place you can go to rest and replenish your health and hunger. It can also be used to skip time should you need to do something at a certain time of the day. Keep it in mind when resting at the inn, all your party members will dismiss them. That's really annoying. I really dislike it when you have to manually go and regather your party member over and over again. Cottage at the beach resort can also be used to rest and replenish your health, or it may be pricey compared to the inn. It offers better accommodation, quote unquote, and free breakfast, quote unquote. Again, you can see little bits of non-native speaker English. They wouldn't get the putting quotes around it makes it sound like it's not real. That makes it sound like a very expensive breakfast. Receive free boarding ticket 1 week. Yay! So we can actually use the rest of it. Okay, so we're not being penalised for doing the wrong solution to the first quest. I hope that's enough to compensate for what happened earlier. You are free to stay in this inn for a week, Mr. Count. I want to know more about your weird immortal child grandpa. You can't just throw it on me and just don't worry about it. If by chance you stumble upon my grandpa while outside, please time to get back in to stop neglecting his duties again in the village chief. The youngest elder. I want to find that quest. I'm more interested in what the hell is going on to make a tiny grandpa than anything else. That's one hell of a cliffhanger to leave on, but I have gone way over time on this so far, and I don't really see much encouragement to keep going on, except just to find out the answer to this one quest. Wish Grandpa can sit like good the kids do. Oops, I forget he's not a kid at all. See, Grandpa acts like a kid and looks like a kid, but is not actually a kid, and I'm confused. Go to sleep. Yeah, let's save here. Let's end here. This is definitely enough for the purposes of the review. I might play this in my own free time. I don't know yet. We haven't got far enough to see how the actual gameplay goes. So far, my opinion is it's very strange how they give you the tutorials out of order and they don't explain some things and they over-explain other things. And also the interface is really non-indicative. I can already imagine it's going to get really annoying to have to constantly manage your hunger but not have an indicator on screen at all times what that hunger actually is, and have to constantly be going in and out of the menu and status. And also the icon is really non-indicative and it looks like a weird Wi-Fi symbol in a pickle jar. It's generally the way it's been handling all these quests. It's just been do a thing and no idea how the hell to do a thing. So I am anticipating if a game continues this way, I'm probably not going to enjoy it, which is a bit of a shame. Also the fact that I really have no clue what is going on. It's very, very odd how they chose to not explain what you're actually doing in the starting cutscene and instead have it hidden away in your quest journal. But I am intrigued. If I play this on my own time, I'll be enjoying it better because I'll have enough time to fully devote to reading every lore entry and being able to write down a dictionary of all the interesting new fantasy words and stuff like that. And I really want to get into it. I am already very invested in this native culture and are the random white people from potential fantasy Britain, potential fantasy Scandinavia, potential fantasy America, potential fantasy some Caucasian place, are they good or bad? Should I trust them or not? Should I be avoiding their quests like the plague because they're oppressing the natives? I don't know. But I am already caring about the villager faction more than every other faction. It's interesting they have different factions. I want to know, does the story change depending on the factions? I'm interested in everything except the random non-monster looking monster girls, and that's surprising because the whole reason I bought the game is because it was supposed to have monster girls, and also because I enjoyed another game by the same company. That's my verdict. I'm going to continue playing because I don't think I've got a good enough idea of whether it's good or bad for the amount of time I've gone in. It has been overly confusing to find out what's going on. That's my criticism so far. It's not necessarily a very good start, but it definitely seems like a promising game, and for all I know it could get better later on. Also the visuals in battles are really, really, really impressive, but the visuals on the map are a bit discordant. It seems odd to go for a very low shading art style for the map and then a very, very detailed shading style for the battles, but maybe it's in on purpose to show a contrast between it and to make the battles look even more impressive. Also, I want to know what the fuck is going on with this immortal grandpa child. That is my final verdict. 0 grandpa, out of grandpa, and I'm confused where it's happening, and I'm going to continue playing this great game because of that. Bye-bye! Briefly flying back in again, the first thing that happened after I stopped recording, after I rested, is I got a little cutscene saying there's a mysterious letter on the floor, and then no dialogue whatsoever on what the letter actually is. It just says you picked it up, no indication where you're supposed to find the letter to actually continue reading it. Then you have to go to the quest about the previous mysterious letter, and it's all exactly the same up to the start, and then you read at the bottom of it, a new paragraph has been added saying, oh, by the way, the new letter I just picked up has said a whole bunch of new different stuff that was not in any way. Why didn't you just have the cutscenes have him reading the letter out loud? It would be so much more logical to have any of these things in a cutscene. It's not even like your character doesn't actually talk because you're making dialogue choices, so why do you not just have him talk? Are you really committed to having a silent protagonist, but also having a protagonist with a personality and a goal, and it has to be hidden away in a menu? I don't know. Anyway, apparently the letter said, you should bother not how I can deliver this very letter to you. Good I recall this, that sums up exactly the problem of why I'm having reading comprehension issues with these specific translation errors. You should bother not how can I deliver this very letter to you. I'm unsure what that means. I'm guessing it means don't worry about how I can keep sneaking letters to you, or I'm mysterious in my ways. I don't know. Really, really, really unclear, and again, I feel bad for picking on the translation having errors. When you're making a game, like, specifically this type of game, you have to have like really good understanding of like long, detailed, complex puzzles to find where to find the next letter, and complex lore. It would be very important to focus on making sure the translation is easy to understand. And double, especially for a game which has a focus on like decoding not one but two separate extra language systems, it really does help a lot if the translation of the main language is like the same as what the audience would expect it to be. And what if there's moments where like the mistranslations make it impossible to understand like the secondary translation of a secondary language? And there are so many ways that this could potentially go wrong, and it does make me preemptively worry. This seems like specifically a type of game which very much would benefit from having like an editorial team come through and double check it a little bit. Adding in to say we've unlocked a character thing for Riri, and again it's really weird that the characters you meet first are very late in the list. I had no idea she was there, like far underneath even where the protagonist is, and it confirms that she says she's a tomboy who insists on doing the man coming of age ritual, and I did not really get that at all from her personality. Really recurring thing I've had in many games translated from other languages is the word tomboy being used to mean like any kind of like woman who is in any way like aggressive or strong or personalityful or rebellious, rather than a girl who actually acts masculine. Like, I guess here she's like she wants to do a man ritual for like becoming a fighter, but nothing about her design in any way communicates that she is like in any way like trans masculine or cross-dressing or anything like that, or like even necessarily very masculine in personality. It's just here is a woman who wants to do the manly thing of fighting, which I guess enough to qualify as a tomboy. It really does feel like does the word mean something different in other languages? I don't know. You have a bad feeling for picking up the manga goals. The best to leave them be. I am fighting a ghost durian fruit. Oh, also, I did manage to go and meet the grandpa who looks like a little child. There was no progress in that plot. We still don't know why his grandpa looks like a little child. I found him and he was like, hi, yes, I am indeed a grandpa that looks like a little child. There was no progress, there was no interesting characterization, he just confirmed it, and then he leaves, and then you go like, oh, okay, you completed part 1 of this quest of 3 parts. Go and find him again hiding somewhere else in the world. Maybe this time you'll get any kind of explanation what the hell is going on, and I'm just like, no, I'm dead. I like this character, I like this character design. Please, please, please say you're recruitable. Please say there's options for characters who aren't just like boobies. Like, I hope Riri can join our party, because she's like a little kid. I'd prefer to have her than like booby ladies. We haven't met any other recruitable party members yet. That's not what I suspected. Maybe I was having a bad day for the fishes. All the fishes are really shy. Either way, I'll be going to search for a new fishing spot. Come join me, I'm apparently some kind of fishing man. I see. I heard that the upstream river near the mountain lake makes for a very good fishing spot. You should visit that spot sometime, Mr. Kai. I wanna be your friend, Mr. Kai. You have lovely eyes. Thank you, lady. Gonna try that fishing spot someday. See you. So is that the area I have to find to become your friend? Or are you gonna like, please? Oh, how can I keep bumping into me on the way walking out? Please, bump into me when I walk out. Be my friend. Be my friend. A fishing gear. You're a fisherman too. Yes! Bond! We are soulmates! If you are a romance option, I will instantly give this game 10,000 points up. So it's nice to meet a fellow fisherman. Later. I gotta say, the fan service designs, they aren't obnoxious. They aren't like super disgusting for someone like me who just isn't interested in it. They are just not my kind of idea of what I like. But the game is tasteful with it. It doesn't go over the top. It's okay. Oh, excuse me. Did you see a big man with a red shirt pass by here? That man forgot his fishing gear and left it by... Guess I'm gonna do a quest to become his best friend! Yeah! Could you bring this fishing gear to him? Yes! Oh, where's my manners? Sorry, mister, my name is Citra. Oh, don't say you're gonna be recruitable too. Like, I have nothing against you, Citra, you're just not my kind of character design. If the quest ends with getting her as a party member and not him, I'm gonna be so sad. I hope the game at least has variety for people who don't want booby women. Even though I get the point. Like, the point of the game is booby women. The game is advertised and you will have booby women. It's assumed that the audience will like booby women. But there are people like me who like running around in a funky fantasy town, getting to learn a new language with my platonic best friend fisherman man instead. You received Kaimana's kit, which we will go and return to him and be his friend. Please. Okay, from briefly looking it up, it seems that there are no good guides for this game that give an actual full list of all the characters. There are several half-complete guides of, I think these are characters, most of which is like, I've vaguely heard if you go here you get a character. It seems that this game is really, really hard to recruit all the characters, and again, it makes me wonder if this was inspired by Digimon World, because that is a thing about the game. The whole thing is like, you're recruiting characters. In that game, it's like a village building game rather than recruiting them to your party. In this game, it's recruiting to your party. I think it must be much more annoying when the characters you actually have to use in battle. It must be really annoying to not be able to have them all, because in Digimon World, like, you go around, it's really hard to recruit like 30 or so guys, but then their role is just like, I come back and I run a shop or something. It's not like my basic party. That's what I was like, how do I find my first party member? What is going on here? And I'm just like, So yeah, I've looked it up. All the guys I can find only list female party members, and I've tried googling the guys, and then there is no even mention of him in any of the guides. So I'm presuming that means that he is actually not recruitable, and that would really, really suck. I feel sad. But the fact that none of the guides are complete and all of them are just like, hey, I've got like 2 of 48 characters, makes me wonder, maybe he is, like, he's a secret recruitable, and if I complete his quest I could get him. Maybe the guys just haven't told me. I'm gonna keep on hope. If I do end up getting him, he is going to be my new husband, regardless of what the game tells me. The end. Oh, we found a character that's in the icon for the game. It's a little hard, but her overworld sprite is the icon in the icon for the game, and I 100% did not think this was like the youngest character so far. Her overworld sprite, I thought it was like the same height as all the other women. So, like, we have some kind of child, and for some reason she's important enough to be on the title icon of the game. I'm searching for my lost toy. Have you seen it, mister? He's a rubber ducky. Sob. Sob. Sob, 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 Mr. Duck. What weird choices! So my only option to say yes is to be sexist about it. That's kind of dumb. Real men help damsels in distress. Sorry, I don't play with little girls. At least you have 2 options. You have options say no, and then say no in a more sexist way, and then say yes in a sexist way. What the hell is up with this text box? Yes! Yes! Real men help damsels in distress. I like at least them being funny about it. That was the end of the cutscene? The only information we have received is that we are sexist. The end. The fishing is impossibly bad and confusing. I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. You see all this happening? I am not pressing a single button. My fishing lure and the fish are just going up and down randomly. I don't know what any of it means. There is no, like, the tutorial was just like, hey, this is how to press and to target the fish. What do I do when the fish attacks? What do I do? What am I supposed to do? Was this a mistranslation? I'll bring up a bloody tutorial maybe again to show it didn't, I couldn't understand what it was saying I was supposed to do. Am I supposed to wait until they both align at the same time and hit the button then or something? Because I'm not doing it. Why are they going up and down? Nothing's happening. I'm gonna try. Yeah, it just ends. That's what's happening. Like, no matter what it's doing, it just kept going and it just ends eventually. Like, I try my best. I'm gonna try and see, does it maybe mean that you're supposed to hit when they overlap each other or something? Because it's not hit repeatedly to make a bar go up and down, and that's also really annoying. You have to wait ages for the fish to appear, and it seems the pathfinding something gets further. Like, you can see this one here, that exclamation mark is meant to mean that they are indeed coming for your fishing line, but they're all stuck on the corner and they can't. For a game about fishing, you'd think the fishing would be good. You think that would be the first thing they make sure to get good. So we're going to wait until they overlap and see if that's what we're supposed to be doing. No? Is it when it glows? Is it when it glows? No? I'm having no level of progress either way. Is it to hold it down? No. They both overlap. No. Nothing I am pressing is making anything happen, even with a character or a bar. They're just going up and down over and over and over again. Is it supposed to be just automated? Do we just have a random chance of winning or not? I'm gonna open up this fucking tutorial, remember. Did I just misunderstand it? It doesn't tell you what you're supposed to do to actually do it. It just says to start fishing, press the action button. Then it says the upper green bar indicates the strength of your line. The lower bar indicates the fish's strength. But it is the harder it is to exhaust and reel it in. But how do you exhaust and reel it in? It doesn't say. Do you press? I was pressing A, nothing was happening. The bars were just going up and down randomly. Right, is that what it means? Is that what it fucking means? Is the button thing, is that what you're supposed to do? Is to hold the action button and the adjacent directive button. From the way that's phrasing, from the way it's down there, that seems like that's what you're supposed to. I thought that's when it's caught. Is that what you're supposed to do to catch it? I'm gonna try that. If that's what you're supposed to be doing the entire time, it's not pressing the button, not holding the button, but holding the button and pressing directional buttons. Fucking hell. From me, that were 100% read as like, these two bars, these are what you're supposed to be doing to catch it. That's what you do once you've also already caught it. Also the fact it says when the fish is caught. I would write that as when the fish is hooked, when the fish is on the line. It took me like 3 times to read it together. That's what it might be meaning. I still don't know that until it actually does it. Yes, that's what it meant! That's what it fucking meant! It meant instead of pressing the fucking action button, you press the action button and also the directional buttons. Literally no one on the entire earth would have figured that out as intuitive. Like, you think it's press the action button or it's press the directional button. You, like me, would be pressing the action button and the directional button and the cancel button, everything. But nothing would be happening. You have to press them both at the same time. Nobody on earth would have intuitively thought of that, so you have to make the tutorial clear on what to do, and you didn't. This perfect example of why a confusing translation can get in the way of a game with 5,000 different systems and lore and really, really specific instructions necessary for them all. Okay, I've played for about 4 hours. I can definitively say I don't like this game. I'm not going to continue finishing it. Oh, I feel bad. The continued lack of any idea of what the fuck to do, any guidance, just continues on. I have played all this time. I haven't gained a single party member. I have no fucking clue how to recruit anybody. You don't recruit any of the people you met in the original cutscene. I found them in the town. I've gone and talked to them, and they don't. There's no option to talk to them. There's no option to take a quest for them. It's been so frustrating. The only time you ever get quests, it seems like a random chance if you happen to be in the right area on the right time of day on the right day of the week. No indication whatsoever where any of those are. All we're doing is just running around in circles through every area I've previously been in, hoping that something new will happen, and it's happening. It took me upwards of 1 week to go into this area with this lady here right on top of me. Only one random day of random time of day was she was like, oh, by the way, the entire crafting system is now unlocked because you've walked into my room at the right time of the right day of the week. No indication how the fuck that is. I had no idea you could do anything with this thing. I had gathered like 40 bazillion items. I had nothing to do. I still have not found a place where you can sell items. I have been playing the entire game. I have no fucking money. I have so many items. I have nothing to do with them. I also can't heal more than 5% of HP at a time. I can't buy the extra items necessary to craft better healing things. You have to have ingredients from the shops as well. And it's like I haven't even found where all the shops are. I haven't had a single party. You were so fucking weak without a single party member. I was getting like, this enemy is too strong for you indicator on things like the second screen of the game, like 1 away from the starting tutorial. And for these hours of grinding against enemies that are way too hard for me, I still can't get very far in it. You know what the weirdest thing is? The difficulty of the enemies is totally fucking random. Like, every single area seems to have 2 sets of enemies. It has like low level and high level. It's not based on the time of day. It's not based on the day. You can walk in and out of the same area over and over again, and it's like a random chance it'll either be the weak enemy or the ridiculously super strong enemy that bodies you with an 80 damage attack out of nowhere. Like, one area is like, oh, the regular Komodo dragons, the same as they were in the first room of the game. And no, there's random chance you can walk in and it's like 80 damage, giant, massive albino spiders. Why? How do these two things exist in the same ecosystem? Why are they swapping places every time I blink? You know that quest that said go specifically up north to the other fishing spot to take this guy's fishing tackle to him. I go up in a direction that logically would point to there. No, it's blocked off. You can't do it. There's a whole other side quest you have to do to get to there. You have to go find this hunter grandpa who can help you to get through these guys who are doing a blockade. I found a hunter grandpa in one of the pubs, and he's like, I talk to him, nothing happens. It's not the right time. You have to have the right time, the right day to talk to him to get him to progress his fucking side plot. I have had no luck. I've been trying so many times with a fucking grandpa. And then I went off and I went the entire long ass way around the entire town to get to this other area from the reverse direction by going through this higher level area I'm not supposed to get yet. Took 4 hours of me and this level 1 guy who can't recruit a single party member and just very, very slowly grinding up the small amounts of money necessary to like buy slightly better items. I have only gone from like starting weapon to like 200 gold weapon from the fact I can't get money anyway except completing quests. I don't know how to fucking sell my items. Every shop I've gone to has had the sell tab blanked out, which is the one shop that lets you sell your items. There's got to be one somewhere on this island. Anyway, hours of just like throwing myself on a problem over and over and over and over again, getting like the tiniest sliver of EXP every time. You know, running around the entire town hoping a new event will trigger. Nothing was happening. All I could do now is like, this is request like in progress, I guess. After all that shit, if I get to the area where it specifically told me the fisherman that guy was, I go there, he is not there. I stay there for like multiple days, going through every time period. I get several other events with several other women who also give me a bloody quest to recruit them. Haven't finished any of those yet, because that's also the frustrating thing, is like, so many of the quests are just, step 1, I met this woman. Step 2, I should meet her again to continue her quest. No indication whatsoever where she is, what you need to do next time. It's like, meeting her in the same area does not trigger the next section of the quest. You have to find her somewhere else on the island. No idea where the fuck that is. That's happened multiple times with multiple ladies now. I've had the introductory quest of several ladies. None of them in the party. I can't do the most basic stuff in the wild because I am weak as shit. And again, me spending multiple hours like dodging between enemies like a fucking pro just to get there and to be told like, no, the fisherman man is not in the area where we told you the fisherman man was. You can't progress his quest. I don't know what the fuck I've done wrong. I've looked at the map, there is only one second fishing area up in a mountain. I was in the correct place for sure. He was not there. You know what else? It took hours to find the guy who sells you fishing bait. You know where he is? On the second fishing area at the top of the mountain. I could not continue fishing at all until I found this guy in the high-level second fishing area to get bait to continue fishing in the first fishing area, the low-level fishing area. Why? How is that? Also, they don't tell you which bait catches which fish. Also, there's literally only one which says catches river fish. I don't know if it's a translation error. Every other one does not tell you what type of fish it catches. I was just sitting there over and over, annoyingly madly going into the menu, unequipping, re-equipping bait to try and catch fucking fish. And you know what's also really annoying? You have to equip your fishing rod in the weapon slot to be able to fish. If you have equipped any other weapon to fight with, you cannot fish. You have to go back and re-equip it in your menu. There is no button to like quickly toggle between them. You know what else is also annoying? You can't heal your HP up more without getting penalised if you're not hungry. If you're not hungry, if you heal your HP when you're not hungry, you get the 2 full status, which cuts your attack in fucking half. Even more frustrating when I'm here, like, literally, I was like, you have to get this very tiny window of being exactly full enough to get an actual attack boost. And anything higher, no, like, I'm going into these battles, I'm getting my ass handed me, I'm having to heal after every battle, and healing after every battle, I'm not hungry. I have to stand there and wait until I'm hungry to be able to heal after every battle by eating like 50 onions in a row because I haven't been able to buy any better healing items or craft any better healing items because I had no way of making money. And every time you get knocked out, there's a long ass fucking cutscene with a bunch of dialogue of like, and I found you in the woods, and I have found you, and I have taken you to the doctor, and the doctor says you are okay now, you were injured, you were on 100. Yeah, you lose 3 days of time, and you have this long ass cutscene that says the same dialogue every single time, and then you wake up and you're not even healed. You don't even get healed when you got knocked out. You wake up in the inn and you are at the maximum level of hungry and sleepy, so you have to immediately go and sleep in the inn again. You have to walk very slowly in the slow down walk speed you get from being super tired. You have to walk from your room where you just were sleeping to the lady who runs the inn to ask her to go stay in the inn again, and the voucher for free inn stays wears off very quick. If you have died twice, that's it, the week is up. You lose 3 days every time you get knocked out. And I can't have no way to get better in battle, but I can't recruit a single party. Literally the only quest I've actually managed to complete is this little lady in the corner trying to find her duck. You know what I got for that? No reward. There is no reward for that quest. All I got was, yay, you found my duck. I got that from running all the way across the fucking map up to the fucking second fishing area, and like a little town to the side of that was where the duck was, and like, nothing from it. Don't recruit her as a party member. No idea what's going on. That's apparently her introduction quest. I have to get a second one to recruit her as a party member or something else. I don't know. I'm really not enjoying this game. I'm really sorry. Oh yeah, another thing that fucking annoyed my arse off. Walk into an area, you get a random chance for quests activating if it's the right time of day, and they activate. There is no choice. There is no I don't want to start doing this quest cutscene. I walk into an area and I immediately got thrown into an unwinnable boss battle, a deliberately unwinnable boss battle of like saving this random chef guy, and then he's supposed to come in and prove he's actually really cool because he doesn't need saving, he saves you instead. But even though it's an unwinnable boss battle, even though you're forced to lose this boss battle, thankfully you don't get knocked out and lose 3 days at least. You know what would be almost as bad as that? You get left at 0 HP at the end of the boss battle, and you have to walk all the way back to town and go rest at the inn again before you can actually do whatever the fuck you were trying to do by walking into that area. Oh, why did they not just heal you after the fucking scripted loss? That's the level of progress I've made, is I have gone from, this game has interesting ideas, but it's not executed badly, but maybe it'll get better later too. It does not get better later. I have not even been able to engage with the most basic concepts of the game. The fucking fishing system is shit, and that's what the game is about. And everything to be able to get to the fishing system is just so... 5,000 levels of not telling me what I'm supposed to do, and I don't know how to take it anymore. I'm so disappointed. I really like the art, I really like the concept, I really like the idea of like a whole new fantasy language and stuff, and it's just totally wasted. I have not been able to meet a single character. I can't start battling. I've been battling for 4 hours before I'm supposed to start battling. That's what bugs me, is the game seems to be like difficulty balanced with the assumption you will know what the fuck you're doing on, and as if the game is unlocking these things in a reasonable order, in a reasonable logical tutorial. Like, I had to go through areas which require battling to get this duck, which I don't have any party members. I thought maybe she's a tutorial early party member you get, that's why she's got a simple duck quest, but no, you don't get any reward of it. I don't know how to add to my party any of the 4 women I've met already, or the bunch of others I've got quests. I am just running in circles constantly, hoping and praying that this particular time of the day, combined with the weather, combined with the day of the week, combined with the month and the season, will be the one that will trigger a completely unforeshadowed event that will unlock the next part of the menu, the selling menu. This lady has unlocked the crafting menu, and I'm 1% closer to knowing what the fuck to do. And the game doesn't even tell me when I'm hungry, and I just, even the most basic of things are just not following any kind of human logic of how to make a good gameplay experience. I wish I was on the playtesting team for this, I could tell them. You said the rebalances that you made for this to make this normal level less difficult than classic. If people were telling you the game is too obtuse and difficult on the regular level, you would fix things that were not the reason. The reason is that it's not tutorializing. The reason is the basic fundamental way you have decided to make character recruitment events work in the first place. It does not anything about the survival system itself. I don't know what else to say except go back to the drawing board and think about, would anyone except the developer know what the fuck I'm supposed to do next here? There we go. And just the fact that there are no full guides for it. There are like basic ass guides and the most basic of concepts that are unintuitive. The Steam community forums for this are 1,000 people being equally as confused as I am, and it's not helping. And the fact that this game is now like pretty old and there's still no guides, I don't think any more guides are going to be coming. I don't think anyone has gotten any further than what we are now, which is like basic concept of how the fishing kind of works. Ignore what the in-game tutorial tells you, this is what it really is. And I think maybe if you go over here at this time, you might possibly see a person times like 50 threads of that, and then everyone go, no, it didn't work for me. This is at least an extremely unique failure, and I'm glad that the team that made this moved on to make another game, which does still share some similar problems, but is actually a fully completable experience and really enjoyable. Go out there and play Seal Fledge. It has similar problems of confusing levels of tutorial and stuff like that, and some of the lore not getting across because of the translation, but with trial and error you can actually play, as opposed to this where if you trial and error you are just going to be getting your ass knocked out 50 times in a row by a basic ass chicken which sometimes transmogrifies into a spider for reasons unknown, and then you walk into the left town at Wednesday afternoon and someone's like, by the way, this basic component of the menu has not been unlocked yet, here you go. I don't know how long I have to continue playing until I actually get all the basic features. I am not going to. I've had a profoundly bad time. However, I did like the design that one fisherman guy. I hope he's recruitable. I don't know. Nobody knows how to play this game. In my mind, it would be manifesting that this fisherman and that fisherman are having a lovely adventure in any game except this. Looked into the game files and confirmed Kaimana is not a playable character. There is like 1 or 2 playable male characters, but they're all tagged as NPC battlers, and none of them have any ending cutscenes or anything, so it seems that they are just like temporarily playable for the purpose of a quest or something. Also, I'm not going to show this on screen because YouTube probably won't like it, but in the files there are censored naked images of every character, and the only exception are the literal toddlers, but the 5-year-old and the 8-year-old and the 10-year-old, they're all as younger children. They all also have like naked with censor bar steam covering their little bits, and it's very uncomfortable, and there's like a CG image of like a girl grabbing another girl's boobs, and there's an enemy lady who's like entirely naked. She doesn't even have a censor bar, she just like has a hand covering it, so there's like more skin shown overall, and it's just like, I'm glad I didn't play this because I don't like that kind of stuff, and I would have been unpleasantly surprised. But if you do like that kind of stuff, there are nude fish women to find, but also really, really young nude fish for women, and I just know. Just as an example of how obtuse this game is and how few people have gotten anywhere in it, there are hundreds of achievements in this game. The most commonly one found by anyone is completing the little grandpa quest, which is fucking difficult and took me ages to actually do. That's 13%. 13% of players have completed the most commonly completed quest. Just over 10% of all the people who ever played this game have completed one quest. 11% of people have recruited Mola Mola, the character you met in the first cutscene. 11% of people have succeeded in the fishing minigame once. 89% of people have not been able to complete the fishing minigame once, or recruit one character. Going down further, like, the vast majority of characters, like 5% of people have ever recruited this character. So the first point where you get anyone saying maximum effects of a character is at the 1%. Getting even lower than that, when it starts getting an actual ending is the low 1%. The amount of people who have gotten any ending and the amount of people who have completed the game on super extreme difficulty mode is roughly the same. It's such a low percentage, there's barely even a difference. Like, you have to be dedicated enough to go the hard difficulty to even persist to finish the game. A lot of the reviews of this are very positive, saying it's doing great things, it's stretching the RPGmaker engine, it's really great, the art style is great, the characters are great. It's called, once you actually get into it, it's interesting, but getting into it is really fucking hard. This is like the Marmite of games. You have to be really, really, really into it to even get into it. You have to really persist to get to the start of basic gameplay. Selecting so much for super fans at the cost of anything else, it makes sense that the people who actually do play it really, really, really enjoy it. And maybe I would too if I had put in that much investment and actually finally got to the good bits. I don't think I have the fortitude, I'm sorry. The amount of enjoyment I got in this fucking 4 hours, I went to 4 hours, I gave it as many chances as I could. Just absolutely nothing. Absolutely no joy, no life, no anything. The basic fishing minigame was the least fun part of it, and that's the thing I'm going to have to do the most, so it's not my kind of thing. And there was one sole review saying exactly what I said, like, it's really, really hard to get into, it's really confusing, it's really awkward, like, it's like even the most basic quests give you no guidance what the hell to do. There is so minimal dialogue. This guy didn't even seem to have discovered that you get actual story dialogue if you look in the journal, and it's a very big divide between that one negative review and like 88% of it. Okay, there apparently are some other negative reviews I didn't find, but it was overwhelming with people saying this is the best game ever. Once you really get into it, it's got so much depth, and it does. It's got like over 100 achievements. Great. Once you actually get to it, I'm sure it's wonderful, but it's really it's not making it easy. This is the Dark Souls of fishing games. This is the Dark Souls of dating a really generic looking monster girl games. Just fucking play Sakura Spirits. Oh, you can gain the little girl in your party. How do you do that then? That's the only fucking quest I succeeded in. Oh. If you just want generic booby women with barely any story, just go out and play an app game. Just play something where you can just press a button and get 50 of them. You know how I said this reminds me of Digimon World? And that game's one of my favourite games ever, so I probably sound like a total hypocrite saying I dislike like a load of things in this game. I thought it might be helpful to like explain why I like things in Digimon World as opposed to I think they implemented the same ideas not so good here. I think that'd probably be a more constructive discussion. Part 1. Digimon World also has a problem with being overly obtuse and hard to find things. It's a genuine problem, I'm not denying that in any way, but I think despite having the problem, it's also much more fun and like, it's still a bit unapproachable, but like you can still get enjoyment out of it. It's more like if you don't know what you're doing, you'll play a few hours and enjoy yourself and then reach a stopping point, as opposed to if you don't know what you're doing, you can't even get started. Because that's the main thing I like more about Digimon World. You always feel like you're making any kind of progress. Even if you don't know what to actually do to progress the plot, you're doing something. And I think the primary point is that your progress in battle is totally disconnected from the fact you have to find these random NPCs around the world. Like, right from the start, almost every potential final Digimon form is unlockable by default. Like you could theoretically do at least half of them without even leaving the starting town. There are some which are locked behind finding certain items later on, but none of them is necessary or particularly powerful. And there are ones which require an amount of techniques which you get from battle, and those ones are powerful, and that is where it does come in. That it's annoying how the game doesn't tell you how to get techniques or which techniques you need. But like, you are still able to create any kind of Digimon which is capable of taking down the final boss in the main story just from playing, or even if you have totally failed to find every optional thing. So just for example, hypothetically, if you were going to run around for 4 hours in Digimon World not knowing how to progress the plot, you would have come out of those 4 hours with some permanent gains to like the strength of your Digimon. You've succeeded defeating several bosses, you've maybe beaten a side quest or so, you've maybe beaten an entire area. Because that's also a thing, the areas themselves are like unique. You have an entire plot in there, you have a quest, you have a boss to defeat. It's not just, if you can't find the 10,000 NPCs, you can't do anything. In Digimon, you only ever have one party member from the beginning to the end of the game, but you can evolve them into various different forms. And the ability to evolve into those forms, it is not unlocked at any point. It starts right from the beginning of the game, you can do that. Hypothetically, you could sit in the starting town and you could raise your Digimon up into its final level without even beginning the plot. You wouldn't get a very good final form, but you could do it. And also, both of them have in common that they have a big open world with no guidance on where to go next, but in Digimon World, again, it feels like you're always doing something. That big open world is very densely populated with various things to do. Various side quests, various areas, various bosses, and the NPCs, which some of them are indeed locked at only appearing at certain times of day, but it's a very rare scant amount, like 5 of them in the game are that, and they're specifically the hidden ones that are not mandatory for your progress. As opposed to fucking everything being a random fucking chance. In Digimon World, you are fucking tripping over amounts of characters. You're not running around feeling like you're the only person who exists on Earth. It makes up for the fact you probably won't be able to complete many of these side quests immediately by just giving you lots and lots and lots of side quests. You can walk into a room and fall over 50 Digimon. It's also rare for any quest to be like multiple stage. It usually is. You complete the first quest and you get the Digimon. And when it is a multiple stage thing, it's rarely you have to continue finding the Digimon in more random places across the world. Like, oh my god, that's the most annoying bit. It's like, how many times do I need to find this one particular lady to actually unlock her as a party member? From what I can remember, the only Digimon that actually did make you find her in multiple areas was Leomon, and that was, again, a totally optional one. There's also a big variety in what you have to do to unlock the Digimon. Like, they all have wildly different side quests. Like, here's like, play a shopping mini-game. Chase me around playing tag. Find this item for me. Go to this spot at the right time. Do the fishing mini-game. It's, in Nusakana, all the ones I encountered so far were just, hi, find me. I'm going to be somewhere else. Find me somewhere else. Or, hi, find me. Now go find an item somewhere else. Or defeat an enemy somewhere else and come back to me. With very little guidance on where to find the second thing. It is wild that Nusakana actually contains a quest log, and yet Digimon World was more intuitive despite not having one. Digimon World also handles not having much of a plot, like, way better. You are dropped in with very little idea of what's going on, but you have enough to know what the main goal is and who you actually are. You were dropped in, you have, like, the intro cutscene is the longest cutscene in the entire game. After that, there's barely anything. It's mostly a character-focused game with, like, the one-off side quests of all these funny NPCs you have to recruit. But, like, the introduction is, like, hey, this is who I am. I'm a human from the human world that's got sent into a Digimon world. Oh, what do I have to do? Digimon says I need to save the world from some kind of bad guy by finding all these NPC Digimon. There we go, bam, goal. I know what I'm doing. I didn't have to go into a side menu to find out the basic goal of what I'm doing. And the biggest difference is just the fact that, like, Digimon World, it's ridiculous and obtuse to try and get 100% completion. It is less ridiculous and obtuse to actually just play the game. The vast majority of people playing it will get at least halfway through it before quitting. Like, even if you do end up finding the game is not for you, you've at least logged like 4 or 5 hours of like, having a general good time, enjoying the environment, enjoying the silly NPCs, and enjoying the nice ambient music. enjoying a unique experience of strange gameplay systems that maybe didn't work as best as they could have, but like, hey, I could do something, I could achieve one possible thing. My slug has turned into an android, and I don't know why, but I could at least go, hey, we had a fun time, didn't we, Andromon? The end. Obviously, both games would benefit from just actually being less obtuse, actually explaining things more, actually having more playtesting to make sure things are actually completable, but there is one that's a clear winner, and it's the one which doesn't completely kneecap itself from that. I can recommend Nusakana as an experience for people who played Digimon World and thought this isn't hard enough. But the very small minority of people that might be, this is the game for you. I got the DLC to have the art book, so I'm going to be showing a brief bit of here, but I'm not going to show it all obviously because I don't want to like take money away from the developers who actually are selling this DLC and stuff. I just want to show this nice image of the cover of it. Here are apparently a lot of the other girls you can catch. I'll say catch as in they're fish girls, you can catch them, but yeah, as you can see, like, pretty much none of them actually look like fish girls in any way. One thing I do know is this girl here, the only one with the interesting design, the red-headed one wearing like a sci-fi type thing, she's a character who cameos later in Seal Fledged, so now I at least know where she came from. Game is made in Indonesia, that is the country that the developers come from. Don't see a lot of Indonesian games ever get translated, I'm really glad that it did, but it does seem that the developers themselves translated it, and that does explain why the language is a bit confusing sometimes. It probably made sense, like, if you are like in a country which doesn't often get things translated, there might less access to professional translators, less budget for these things, more difficulty like contacting anyone who like fluently speaks in English in like in an industry sense. I understand why it happens. It doesn't make me any less sad that it happened this way, sadly. I hope that they do find more success. Like now they've had two successful games. I hope that continuing on they're able to like find more of a budget for future things. Or that their success in the game has like spread the word out and more people who actually translate can come to them. So I don't know. But I do find it interesting how they said they've actually given what the name Nusakana means. It's from Nusa in England, the Indonesian language, and Sakana in Japanese, and it means fish island, but in a play on words from two different languages. That's neat. Yeah, this is a good comparison image of how Mola looks nothing at all in any possible way like a Mola. Here is her holding her namesake. Really not my kind of designs. Also, now I don't feel bad for saying the designs did seem a bit over the top fan service. Literally the art book saying they're over the top fan service. I went a little overboard by making some of the designs borderline lewd. Some of the rejected designs that didn't make it into the game were even more revolting. From the mouth of the developer themselves, I am not just being overly prudish. The characters were designed to be very fan service. Honestly, I don't think they did go very over the top. It is just bare minimum fan service. It is fan service. It is fan service that people will enjoy. It's not too much. It's fine. There is no morally objectionable stuff, except if you can actually date the tiny fucking child. I really hope you can't date the tiny fucking child. I know it says they're the maidens. They come from 1,000 years old. They're all actually overage, but just imagine how awkward it would be if you had to date the 5-year-old looking grandpa. Just imagine that and see how double standard it is to apply it to women lollies or whatever it's called. Oh, it's giving me fucking flashbacks to fucking Fire Emblem Awakening. Oh, bloody nowie. To me, the idea of character looks exactly like a little girl in a sexual outfit, but she's really overage, so you can't actually have sex with her canonically and have babies with her. It's just the epitome of fan service over sense. It's like, I am so determined to draw sexy sex things, but I don't even care about basic concepts of like story, logic, morality of people. It's just, I need to put sex into literally every part of the game, even characters who by all logic look like they should just be a random NPC. Just to clarify, I'm talking about Fire Emblem Awakening here, doing this. I do not know if this game has the little girls be dateable, and their designs are much less disgusting than Howie in Fire Emblem Awakening. And they also don't like act like at least they have like character is actually 1,000 years old and doesn't act like it. Like again, I said it was weird and creepy that this little girl is hitting on me. At least it's not like a little girl acts like a little girl, seems to not even know what sex is, but she's technically 1,000 years old, so it's somehow not morally wrong to just fucking lewd the shit out of her, literally biologically reproduce with this child, and it's part of the gameplay. You can't get every recruitable character unless somebody fucks the child. I don't like it. I really don't like it. And it feels like someone who had a lack of imagination could not imagine a single female character that you were not allowed to fuck. Thank you. I'm really glad that I read this art book. From the words of the developer, yes, there are game-breaking blogs everywhere. There's a lack of cohesive clues or tutorials that explain many of the obscure game mechanics. There are a lot of flaws when it launched. Honestly, we are to blame. This is my first game project. I just put everything I liked, not considering the player that will play this game may not feel comfortable with my game design decision. I was not being unreasonable. Literally from a developer, this is a feedback I haven't had from people playing the game. They now understand. That explains why their second game had more tutorials and more things. That's the thing. They learn a lot, they listen, they deliver fixes almost constantly after Nusakana was launched. Looking into the Steam community, that's one thing. Is like there were a lot of fixes, there were a lot of patches. It gave additional difficulties. It gave you a casual difficulty. It gave you a more balanced second normal. I understand. I'm glad this game did find the cult following it did with people who are able to put up with these things. I have no grudges against the game itself. I'm glad that they went forward, they learned from it, and they made, in its second game, a game that can be really enjoyed by, like, really in-depth, like, people who get into it, like me, who go for every bloody ending and, like, really get hugely into it. I had a great time doing it, but also casual players can at least play the game. It's great. I'm glad. And I'm glad I was not just being unreasonable. Literally the developer agrees with me that this was a mistake. Confirmation that the little girl I found the duck from is indeed a recruitable character and is also a 1,000-year-old magical fish girl. That's weird because she actually acted like a kid as opposed to the other one who was weird and flirty. So I don't know. Maybe they have like varying levels of like internal mind as well as external appearance. She so far is the only one that actually looks kind of like the fish. She at least has gold and the floofy ponytail that looks like a fishtail. An image which shows why I do not like literal toddler fan service, also proving yes, that character is a literal toddler in universe. It is not just chibi artwork. If you're interested, the art book has random illustrations of crossovers with various fandoms that the creator created, and fan servicey outfits of said fandoms, and the literal toddler nose bleeding overseeing them in it. Maybe you would enjoy this game if you like tits more than I do, which is like if you like tits at all. Unironically, I would have preferred the left design for this character. Unironically, I would have preferred this version of the game. Any kind of like body variety in the characters. I know that's bad. Like it is designed to be a fan service thing, but like the fact that the only body variety is like literal toddler that you date. Could you not have at least had a variety of like, here are some that you would like to recruit if you don't want... That's what I was saying, like, I really wish for that random fisherman guy was actually recruitable. Like, if you could just, like, have non-fish girl party members as well. Like, the people who are in it for just playing a fishing game can enjoy that. Also, just side-eyeing, I did notice that this particular character, this little swimsuit literal toddler, like... This is not a chibi artwork. This is how she looks in game. She is a literal actual toddler, like 2 years old. Her introduction is her going, "Oh, are you peeking on me in the bath? Are you hitting on me?" and then doing a draw me like your French girl's pose. And this little description over here about where the game from. I did worry about the fact that there are like a lot of little girls. I was hoping they wouldn't also be dateable options, but yeah, the idea from the game came from playing as a lolly fisherman, but why not just make all the fishes become girls you can date and make them your waifu instead? So, really not my kind of thing, really especially not my kind of thing. I have no patience, like, I'm not interested in fan service myself because I'm not attracted to women, but I have no patience for the idea of fan service about characters who look really young but are actually 1,000 years old because they're a mermaid, blah blah blah. It's just, it squicks me out. If that's your thing, enjoy this game, but for me, I wish I'd known this beforehand. I would have just not bought the game in the first place if I knew this. It's not, I would have known immediately that this is not a game that appeals to me. But I'm glad I supported this company, and the fact that they made a second game about actually raising a child, and there is absolutely zero fan service about your child. There is nothing unwholesome, and it's just 100% a lovely and actual good child raising simulator in the cool sci-fi future. And again, play Seal Fledged. It has all the flaws of this game, but less, and it has like actual good things as well.